Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Jeff back with Hannah this week, and this week we have a topic that I'm hoping at some point we're going to be able to use. It doesn't really look like it's very useful today with the rain outside, but this week we're going to talk about
the importance of wearing sunscreen.
And that's very important to protect your skin. If you go shopping for it, you're going to be seeing something called SPF on the bottle. That stands for sun protection factor. So that's how much protection that sunscreen is going to give you. There's actually two different things you can use. One's called a sunblock, and one's called a sunscreen. Sunblock is more like the white stuff you used to see on lifeguards' noses. That's called a sunblock. It's more of like a zinc oxide or a titanium dioxide, something like that. It actually reflects the rays off, so the skin never actually receives those rays at all. It kind of reflects right back off again. Whereas a sunscreen, that's kind of the cream you put on that you put on your skin, and that more deflects the rays. So what happens is the rays hit you, but it kind of dissipates amongst the area in the skin. So it's not really hitting one area. It kind of dissipates the intensity a little bit amongst the entire area.
Yeah, so there's two types of UV rays. There's UVA. This is the one that penetrates deeply into the skin and actually damages the DNA cells over the time. This is the one that causes signs of aging, so the wrinkles, the deep lines, the melasma. And then there's UVB. This is the one that affects the outer layer of the skin more and causes the sunburn and can eventually lead to skin cancer. So there's different numbers on the sunscreens, and Dr. Jeff is going to explain a little bit more about that.
So when you're shopping for one, you'll see different numbers on it called 15 or 30 or 50. Well, what do these numbers actually mean? Well, again, we talk about sun protection factors. So 15 used to be thought that 15 meant it's going to take 15 times longer for you to burn. 30 was 30 times longer, 50 times longer. That's kind of gone by the wayside because it really depends on the person. It depends on their age, it depends on their skin features, how fair they are, how dark the skin is. So now we just know, they say that research shows that an SPF 15 is going to block about 93% of the rays, an SPF 30 about 97%, and an SPF 50 about 98%. So you're buying it and you're saying, well, an SPF 50 might cost this much money, and SPF 30 this much money. Is it really worth spending that much money for 1% more protection? That's kind of your choice. But that's kind of what the research is showing now as far as what those numbers mean.
It's very important that you do apply the sunscreen because it helps to protect against the sunburn, which can lead to the skin cancer. And then this can also show signs of early aging, so the wrinkles again, the melasma, the deep lines. And it's important to protect that outer layer of your skin because this helps to protect us against the toxins in the environment. It's important that you're applying enough sunscreen because a lot of people don't. So it's generally recommended that you apply 2 finger lengths of sunscreen to your face and the neck, and then 2 to 3 finger lengths depending on the area of the body. So the arm probably 2, the legs are a little bit bigger, so 3. And make sure that you're reapplying this every 30 to 60 minutes just so that you're getting the full coverage.
And before you go out, make sure you put it on at least 30 to 60 minutes before you go out,
Yeah.
so it gets a chance to kind of penetrate in the skin.
Mm-hmm.
So some people think that maybe in the wintertime I don't need sunscreen. Well, that's not right either, because even though in the wintertime the sun's rays aren't quite as strong, what happens is it comes down and hits the snow, and the snow acts like a magnifying glass and magnifies those rays. And so you see a lot of skiers, and they still have a nice tan face. Same thing in the summertime. If you're out in the pool or out in the river, any by water, that water acts like a magnifying glass, and it can actually intensify the rays. You can burn a lot faster. So if you're out doing those things, it's even more important that you apply it very regularly, whether it's every 30 minutes to an hour. Make sure you keep applying it more and more.
Yeah. Another myth some people believe is that just because they have a darker skin tone, they don't need to wear the sunscreen. This isn't true. Just because it may seem that they're not getting a tan, the sun is still damaging their skin, and it's important that they do use this to protect against that damage.
Yeah. Another thing is some people say, "Oh, I'd like to get that first burn of the season, so my skin's going to tan a lot better." Well, all that does is kind of like a snake. You burn off the first layer of skin, and now you actually have less protection from toxins and from the environment because your skin gets even thinner. And it's not like you have an infinite number of layers of skin, so every time you peel one off, it's getting thinner and thinner and thinner.
Yeah. And then the last myth that we have is that you only need to apply sunscreen once a day. So if you're going to the beach, you put it on before you go, and then you're good for the rest of the day. But this isn't true, and a lot of people will find they'll apply it, and then when they leave the beach at the end of the day, they're really, really sunburned because they weren't reapplying that sunscreen.
If you really want to protect yourself, there's other things you can do. Now there's certain types of clothing that provide sun protection. You know, wearing a hat, having an umbrella, things like that.
Sunglasses.
Yep, things like that.
Shade.
Yep, and the worst time of day to be out, the strongest rays are from 12 till 3 or something. So if you can avoid activity during those hours, that might help your sunburn as well.
Yeah. So we hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions, make sure to comment them down below or ask us in the clinic. As always, share with your friends, like, subscribe, and here at Goldsworthy, we've got your back.